During the past few weeks, we've learned a lot about the Magic Island. One thing we learned was that the island is called Euclidia. Now, however, this seems to be not altogether true, as the island itself is apparently only a small part of Euclidia. When Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford, Jerry Hall, and Joan Gregory returned to the island on this trip, they expected to stay for some time and learn as many as possible of the Euclidean secrets. On their arrival, they found the island deserted. One of the automatic elevators carried them down into the lower regions of a submerged mountain. We find them now in a room of polished steel, 200 feet below the surface of the South Pacific Ocean.
Well, here we are again.
Yes, Jerry, here we are again.
You should not say, here we are again. We have never been here before.
You're right enough, Joan. We've never been here before.
Oh, maybe not in this room, but this is sure the third time we've come to this island.
And our prospects are a little more grim and hopeless each time we come.
Yeah, maybe we've come once too often.
That is bad grammar, but sound reasoning.
I'm inclined to agree with Jerry for once. If I'd had any idea we would run into a setup like this, I doubt if we would have left Los Angeles.
But Joan had mentioned something of a larger colony she thought existed.
That is true, Captain Bradford. I did mention that, though I was very indefinite about it.
I'm not blaming you, Joan, but one of us certainly should have thought that the Euclideans would have a larger place in that island for the operations they were carrying on.
Well, I guess we can all think of a lot of smart things we could have done, now that it's too late. But we're here, and I think the best thing to do now is to figure how to get out of here.
You're right, Jerry. We knew we were taking chances when we came here.
Well, Joan, while you've never been in this undersea city of theirs before, you probably know more about it than the rest of us. What would you suggest?
That is very difficult to answer, Captain Bradford. I heard the Euclidean scientists mention the city below and Euclidia proper, and I felt somehow that there was much of Euclidia that I had not seen. But I have no definite knowledge with which to help you.
Well, why not quit talking about all the things that might help us if we only knew them, and talk about the things we know how to do?
Well, what would you suggest, Jerry?
Well, let's get out of this room and start looking around.
Do you know how to get out of this room?
Well, sure. Walk out.
Where is the door?
What? Huh? Oh, gee. There isn't a door in this room.
That's the first trouble.
There are probably a number of exits as G-47 and Saley's entered and left without any trouble. But to me, those steel panels all look exactly alike.
I think we would find it useless to attempt to leave until provisions are made for that.
Oh, I'm getting tired of all that stuff. You can't even open a door until you get permission.
Take it easy, Jerry. Won't help anything to get all worked up over this.
After all, we did get ourselves into it.
Yeah, and didn't old G-47 say we're to have our freedom here and not be locked up?
Precisely, Jerry. But it is possible our quarters are not prepared at the moment.
Yes, Joan, that may be it. At least I hope it is.
Well, why couldn't we go out and walk around this underground town or whatever it is? I don't see why we have to stay in here until they decide where we're going to sleep.
Maybe you, two took G-47's invitation to look around too literally, Jerry. I'd say that while we apparently have our freedom and are allowed to go sightseeing as much as we like, there'll be several places we'll never see the inside of.
That is logical, Captain. G-47 has probably gone to prepare the other Euclideans for our arrival. He will undoubtedly instruct them as to how much we are to be allowed to observe.
That's my idea, Joan.
Then our freedom of the city is to be in name only. Like those tours one may take in a forbidden country.
Well, we might as well stay home as go on that kind of a tour.
We are not likely to leave home now, Jerry. This is our home for all time.
No, Joan, it isn't quite that hopeless. After all, G-47 has the same interest in science that the captain has. And many things can happen.
And I'll bet things will happen all right.
Be a relief to have them start.
Sounds like they've started.
What was that?
Over there, on the other side of the room, one of the steel panels flew open.
Sure did, and there's a light on in the room there.
Tex, isn't that my steamer trunk in that room?
Steamer trunk? Oh, let's go see.
But how could your steamer trunk, whatever that may be, get down here in Euclidia?
I can't imagine.
Well, at least we can hear ourselves walking now. Gee, I like to make noise when my feet hit the floor.
Well, that's something now, isn't it? Look at that room.
Oh, Tex, what an attractive little room. Like a stateroom on a fine ocean liner.
Mother, are those not your articles of clothing?
Yes, Joan. My things are as well laid out in this room as if a maid had cared for them.
Boy, and there's a wooden floor in here. Listen to this.
This is the most natural place I've seen since we left Los Angeles.
I never imagined such a room could be found in Euclidia.
Well, it looks like you're fixed up all right, Mrs. Gregory. Now, if the rest of us can find rooms like this, we'll be okay.
But how did my things get here so quickly?
I'd say that we weren't as much alone as we imagined when we came off the boat.
You are correct, Captain. The Euclideans must have removed all our possessions from the boat at once, as the island is now submerged.
Yeah, and it's been less than an hour since we landed. I wonder what they did with the boat.
Sounds like somebody else had a room ready for them.
I hope that's mine. Come on, let's see.
There is the open door, directly across the large circular chamber.
And I think I can see my instrument cases in there.
Well, come on, let's find out.
I believe we're going to find that we'll each have a room opening into this central chamber.
That would appear to be probable, Mother, and it will be most convenient.
I'll say it will. If we can all find a place to sleep, then all we have to worry about is where's the dining room.
Yes, sir, there we are. That's my room. And everything I had on the boat with me is in perfect order in the room.
There must be some point to all this service we're getting.
I think we will find many things done for our comfort, and we will enjoy ourselves for a certain period of time. And then, if the Euclideans have not secured from us the information they desire, our situation will change completely.
Yeah, and they'll kid us along for a while and get rough about it.
That's about it. But we'll be making some progress with our own plan.
Oh, another room is ready for one of us.
Oh, right beside this one.
This is your room, Jerry.
Sure is. And that bed looks mighty good to me. I'm going to get myself some sleep as soon as I find out where to eat.
Well, if we're going to be this well taken care of, surely some provision will be made for our meals.
Don't worry about that. We'll eat. But we have to do it whenever these Euclideans feel like feeding us.
Well, one thing's sure. It won't take us long to eat in this place. You don't lose much time when you swallow a pill for dinner.
That should be my apartment.
Yes, Joan, dear, there it is, next to mine.
Come on, Joan. Let's go look at it.
There is nothing to see that we have not seen in the other rooms.
You're sensible, Joan. No use running all over looking at these things.
I feel a little like Jerry does about it. Even though we may not understand all that's being done and haven't any way of knowing what the ultimate answer will be, it's all very interesting.
And I'm hungry.
Sounded like another door opening somewhere.
It was, and look, Tex, look.
Say, that is something.
It is indeed something.
Well, golly whiskers. Joan, will you pinch me?
No need, Jerry. You're awake and really seeing it.
Ouch! Hey, what's the idea?
Did you not say to pinch you?
Oh, yes, but I didn't mean it.
What did I tell you about saying things you do not mean, Jerry?
Oh, you tell me so much that I never know what...
Here, you two. This is no time to start an argument.
No, it certainly isn't. Tex, will you give me your arm?
With pleasure, Pat.
Joan, may I have the honor of taking you in to dinner?
Oh, Jerry, you speak so nicely when you want to.
Oh, sure.
What a beautiful dining table.
And it's loaded with food.
I hope this keeps up.
I believe we may depend on that.
This seems to be the head of the table, Tex. Will you do the honors?
Indeed, I will.
Will you look at the porterhouse steak?
Not much like the pills you're worried about eating, is it?
I'll say it isn't. Mrs. Gregory, will you have...
Tex, look.
What's the matter, Pat?
Well, nothing. I mean, nothing to be alarmed about, but look at this.
The silver, you mean?
Yes.
It is very beautiful, is it not?
Sure is. But what are you so excited about, Mrs. Gregory?
Oh, you wouldn't know, Jerry. You couldn't know. But I'm surprised that Tex didn't see it.
Mother, I believe I know what you mean. The silver is exactly like yours in your home in Los Angeles.
What?
Is it, Mrs. Gregory?
Well, it's more than that, Jerry. It is my silver.
Yours?
Are you sure, Pat?
Yes. And this is my table linen. Tex, my entire table
Oh,
service.
gee whiz. How could that happen?
I believe that the visitor who went through your home while we were locked in the radio room spent more time in various parts of the house than we noticed.
No doubt of it, Joan. One of those Euclideans took everything out of your mother's house that he thought she would want for a long stay on the island.
And that sounds like those men are mighty sure we're going to make a long stay.
Yes. There's something horribly final about it when you find that your personal possessions have been brought over 4,000 miles without your knowledge.
As I tried to explain to all of you in Los Angeles, I felt that our arrival on Euclidia would be the end of all communication with the world for us. And now I am convinced that such is the case.
Oh, now, cheer up. If this is the sort of treatment we're going to have all the time, we can't complain much.
Well, I'll say we can't. And I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Yes, we may as well do that. Why, these rolls are hot, just as if they'd come out of the oven this instant. And yet, why, we've been here for several minutes.
Well, that's not startling, Pat, if you'll notice that each bread plate is a small electric grill.
Boy, it sure is. And that's why this steak has kept so hot. Oh, boy. Is this good?
Jerry, is it your custom to speak while you are eating?
Well, sorry, but when you expect to be handed a pill for your dinner, and somebody brings you a steak that's kept sizzling hot, it's hard to remember your manners.
Oh, I know that, Jerry. But we must try very hard to preserve our composure and maintain all of our standards in the face of everything.
This food is really very excellent, is it not?
I don't know when I've tasted a meal I enjoyed more. Imagine sitting down to dinner in a polished metal dining room, 200 feet below the ocean, and finding your own table service waiting for you.
I wonder what happens when we're through eating.
This will probably disappear just as suddenly as it appeared.
Well, I hope they give us time to get out of this room before that steel door slams shut again.
Yes, I'd rather sleep over in that stateroom of mine than on one of these hard metal chairs.
Captain Bradford.
What?
Behind you.
Huh?
Oh,
Well,
I thought this was too blame good to last.
well, G47, I suppose we have you to thank for this?
You have, though your thanks would mean nothing.
nevertheless, we extend them.
Do we take care of this stuff, or does it go away like it got here?
The facilities for your meals will be at your disposal at stated intervals. You will have 1,800 seconds in which to complete each meal and leave this room.
We eat on time and when and what you tell us to eat, huh?
Precisely.
When may we begin our tour of Euclidia?
Tomorrow morning, you will find the main passageway open. You may proceed through the city as you will, and I might suggest that you take every advantage of the comfort and security offered you. Adapt yourselves to this method of living, as you will remain here for the rest of your lives.